This meeting is being recorded.
Yeah. Good afternoon, Bhavya. How are you?
Good afternoon, sir. I'm good. How are you?
Yeah, I'm good too. Thank you for asking. Can you tell us something about yourself?
I'm Bhavya. I have been working in Accenture for the past 3.5 years. I'm into manual as well as automation testing. All these are based on Salesforce-based web applications. So in manual, I've worked on data loaders and manually performed batch functionalities, and we have used a Salesforce One app to test the whatever build functionalities working on the Salesforce One app, and we have used browser stack to stimulate on different, to test different manually to test different functionalities on the different mobile applications, Android and iOS. And coming to automation, I have 2 years of work experience, and I have used Selenium with Java and TestNG, and we have built the same functionality that we tested. So
Okay, that's good. Okay, so can you tell me about the type of framework you have used in your automation?
in automation, we have used a data-driven framework in combination of page object model. For every web page, we have designed, there is a class which holds all the locators and functions, and we have a first test, we have separate package where we uh, perform sessions and tests on that expected pages and expected functionalities. We have a base class, we have utility class where we initialize the web driver. We have configured properties where we store the URL of our URL and login credentials of the org that we are using. And in base class, in test base class, we would be writing all the driver initial functions, like all the common utilities like taking screenshots, or util functions like creating a file input object for reading the data. And in utilities, we will be writing for screenshots, and whenever the test fails, the on the listeners we have configured so that uh, it would come to this particular place and take the screenshots of all the tests. And we have used TestNG for most of the execution.
Okay.
We have tested TestNG suite, and
Right. So which are the different types of annotations that you have in TestNG?
we have 8 types, like at test, before suit, after suit, before class, after class, before test, after test, at the test. At test.
Correct. How will you set the priority of a test case?
We will be using the priority keyword. After the test, we'll be using priority, and it starts from 0, 1, 2, 3. Like 0 is the highest priority, 1, 2, 3, like that.
Correct. Now, how will you handle frames and windows using Selenium?
We will be using get switch to frame ID. Like we'll be storing all the frame IDs in a list or a set, and then we will be using driver dot switch to frame or switch to alert. Like not driver dot switch to frame by ID, like frame ID or index.
Yeah, frame ID or using index also you can mention. Okay. Now, what is memory leakage in Java?
Where there are blocks of memories, Java creates, like whenever we are associating some string or set or an event, it associates some of the memories. And if we do not disassociate after, like if we do not clear the garbage collection, if we do not clear the memories, so there'll be some blocks of memories unassigned between them. So
Correct. So the memory leakage is a situation where the garbage collector does not recognize the unused objects and they remain in the memory indefinitely. So that reduces the amount of memory allocated to the application or the software, right? And due to this, sometimes you might get out of memory error, out of memory exception, right? So these things do occur, right? Can you give me an example of one memory leakage?
If in parallel execution, if we are trying to use like a TestNG, I mean thread count and 3 or 4 threads are using same data, and uh, some same set of strings are associated, like in like we are trying to access any particular number of links or anywhere, we are putting that in the string, and in that parallel execution, for example, we are doing that same thing over on Firefox as well as on Chrome and IE. Sometimes the same set of strings, same set of data we are using in 3 different places, in 3 different browsers. So we might run out of memory if we do not close that associate that memory after it.
Okay. Now, what is the difference between stack and heap?
Uh, Stack is for first in first out. Sorry, that's you. I mean,
Sorry.
uh, actually no. I mean, I feel that's similar. So
Okay, so you
stack.
feel both stack and heap are similar.
Yeah, heap is unaccounted amount of value, and in heap you will be storing hash maps like key and value pair collections. In stack you will be using collections like array list and sets and strings, like we'll be stacking one after the other.
Correct. Okay. So if in an interview you get this question, what is the difference between stack and heap? So you can mention the heap space contains all the objects those are getting created or those are to be created, while stack contains any reference to those objects, right? So generally objects that are stored in the heap that can be accessed throughout the application, right? But if you have created any primitive local type of variables, so those can be accessed by the stack memory blocks. Okay, so this is a basic difference between heap space and stack memory. Correct. So you might get this question. It can be asked in Java-based questions because generally people do ask, and basically, or else they might also ask you what happens when you create any new object. So you are using new keyword over there, right? So what would happen in that case? So these are all the interrelated questions you can tell. Okay. Now, what is serialization and deserialization in Java?
Serialization would be associating the uh, data like space and like key value, I mean like to sort it out in the sorted manner one after the other. Deserialization would be more like garbage collection, like we will be disassociating the link between the reference and the object that's getting stored, like memory space.
Okay. Any other difference that is coming to your mind?
No, actually I am little uh, I need to prepare about serialization and deserialization and collections.
Okay, no issues. So this will be an open question for the people who are watching this video, right? What is serialization? What is deserialization? And important is what is the difference between serialization and deserialization? Okay, so this is fine. Can you give me an example of how you have implemented OOPS concepts in the automation framework?
Oops concepts are like one is method overriding. So if you are trying to use say a web driver, like web driver driver is equal to new Chrome driver or anything. So Chrome driver is the grandchild of, I mean of the WebDriver class. So you are taking that initiation in that value, and I mean you're taking the reference of that value and pointing it to the object of the child. And here like get driver dot get method or driver dot navigate to method, these are first defined like in remote WebDriver method, and we are calling that in the Chrome driver method, and we are overriding them. One way would be that, or in listeners, like whenever we are trying to like I test listeners, and we are all those listeners, we are implementing the test listeners class, and then on I test on test I test pass or skipped or failed, like we will be overriding those methods with the code that is suitable for our own project.
Okay.
Those methods.
Okay. And how about inheritance?
Uh, Inheritance is a relationship, like we would be defining like from page class, like for suppose there is a test based class where we are initializing the web drivers and we are initializing the file input stream objects. We are extending the test based class in wherever we are required in our functionality, and we are using whatever initialized web drivers in there, like,
Absolutely.
so we will use
Yeah. Please go ahead. Yeah.
we would be using the implements, depends upon the method. Like if we are using the class like class, then we would be using extends method. But if it is, we have put it as in interface, like we have not given any method definitions, then as an interface we would be implementing them.
Correct. So whenever we have a base class kind of a thing in automation, so we would be in other classes, we would be extending that particular base class and we would be reusing the methods objects within that base class. So that is very right. Do you have any experience in API testing?
No.
Okay. So this is okay. Okay. How will you check the broken links on a web page?
One way would be to point all the links in, store them in the set, and navigate and assert the values, like we assert if that title of the page is the expected title, that would be long method, or else we would be using http, that utils method, and where 200 is the uh, code, like
200
where
okay is the
API code,
response
if it
code or not? Right.
is.
Correct. So you were telling something about assert, right? What is the difference between hard assert and soft assert?
Soft assert would be like it will not stop the validation. If the expected results and actual results differ, it will collect all of them at the end. It will validate all the steps. It will throw assert all at the end. Hard assert would be if it is failing at that point, it stops the uh, execution and throws that error, like expected result is not found. Like
Okay. Which are the different types of assertions that you have used in the automation framework?
assertions. Assert a true, assert false, assert dot assert true, assert false, and we have ex, uh, one sec. Uh, we have used priorities test and data providers, and we have used depends on, like if one class is depending upon the methods of other class in a sequential manner, depends on methods. We have used depends on groups, and we have defined whatever.
Okay.
uh,
So this depends on, you were mentioning, like I wanted to know how you have used in the automation framework.
we have whatever method, for example, uh, I have worked on childcare services. So after logging in or after providing an intake report, an assessment case is created. So for assessment related object classes, we will be putting like test, depends on whatever the intake functionality that we have created for intake functionality class name
Okay.
in
So
WH.
in assertion, have you used assert equals, assert not equals, then assert true, assert false, assert null, assert non-null? All these things you have used in assertions.
Yes.
You have used them.
Yeah. Assert equals, like
Okay.
on quote actions and any other things, we have used assert to assert false.
Correct.
And
So what is the difference between assert null and assert not null?
when the returned value is null, it's assert null. If it is not null, like if a set is returning or anything, an object is returning some value, so it's assert not null. Like if assert not null, if if the value expected result is not null.
Okay, so in assert null, basically the assertion checks for a particular object if it is null or not. When an object is null, the assertion returns an exception resulting in aborting the test. Okay, and it assert not null is, as you have mentioned, it is a vice versa of assert null. So this is fine. Okay. You have joined from laptop? Yeah, you have joined from laptop or mobile?
No, laptop.
Laptop. Okay, so can you write a Java program to reverse a particular string in Java? Yeah, I'm giving you sharing rights. You can share your screen. Yeah, you can write a Java program.
On Notepad or on
Yeah, Notepad
application.
ID. Yeah, Notepad ID.
Okay.
Yeah, can you maximize it?
Yes. Uh, I'm converting all the string into a character, and from string characters, I'm applying the logic to reverse it using for loop, and then I will convert the whatever string character string array to string again.
Correct, correct. Yeah. So you can consider any string for now for this test and just reverse that particular string. Let us see how output you are getting.
One second. Int length is equal to str dot last index. Sorry, character string ch is equal to uh, then one. Current ID is equal to this one. Greater than 0. String.
So you have this IDE installed in your machine, right? Eclipse is there, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So can you take this code into the Eclipse? Can we check if this gives the output? You have used for loop once, okay, and for loop there is character is the object that you have created, okay. Then temp is a no. Okay, fine. So you are done with writing the program, right? Can you paste this code into the Eclipse? You can see the output. You can take any string for now. Yeah. So can you copy that code? Can you copy?
I think my is getting little slow.
So this last index is a function, right? That you have used. Now it's fine. You want me to help you out in this program? Yeah, Bhavya?
Yes, actually, I mean,
Yeah. Okay. Okay. Let me share my screen. Give me a moment. I have this program with me. So your screen sharing will be stopped. Yeah. So screen is visible. Yeah. Is the screen visible?
yes, it's visible.
Okay. Okay. So what I have done is I have taken any string over here. Let's say test. You can take any string. Okay. And I have created this object with a new keyword. And I saw you were using this reverse method. So there are multiple methods to reverse a particular string. You can use it via for loop as well. You can use byte character also, right? So I have also used the same function that you have used, right? And this would be the object I have created in this particular line. Then I'm appending the string into this particular builder inputs, right? And then I'm reversing it, and then I'm printing it out, right? So this would be a string would be reversed. Okay, so this is fine, right? So in an interview, you might also get the question like, let's say if you have implemented in the manner that you had done, so they might ask which are the other ways to do it, or how will you optimize your code? How will you make sure that it gives the output in a minimum amount of time, right? So these are the few things that you will get in an interview. Okay, so this is fine. Okay. Now, is it possible to run only failed test cases in Selenium? Yes. In Selenium.
We can. It's possible to run failed test cases. There is a test output folder when you're using testing, and in that output.xml file, you'll be running all the failed. So
Correct. Now, what is the difference between priority and severity?
priority is the degree. It's the severity is the degree in which it is affecting the existing functionality. Priority is the degree in which it needs to be fixed or expedited. Like it should be fixed uh, as soon as possible. Like yeah.
Okay, priority, it needs to be fixed as soon as possible. Okay, and severity?
Severity is the degree at which it is affecting the rest of the functionality. Like if one small bug, it's a UI bug, it's not affecting that much. But if it is a functional error which is stopping every other module, then it's the degree in which it's affecting the existing built functionality.
Okay, fine. Which are the different things that you will take as a part of, consider them as a parameter to review the test cases if you have been reviewing the test cases of your uh, junior persons, right? Junior team members. So what are the different points, or what are the different parameters that you will consider while reviewing test cases?
We will be it will be test for functionality that has been covered. How is it? How much percent of the user story acceptance criteria that the person has covered in the test scripts? The effectiveness of the functionality, if the code can be reduced, and it can be the degree in which the code can be reduced, or the multiple ways in which we can produce the same results, and yeah.
Okay. Okay, Bhavya, I'm done with the interview. Do you have any questions for me?
No, I mean, I wanted to know where exactly, like serialization Java programs. I know that I need more practice. Any other areas like?
So I think Java program is one of the thing. All right. Just give me a second. Right. So Java program and all these concepts, oops concepts that would be asked to you in an interview, how you have implemented in an automation, right? Abstraction, polymorphism, inheritance. They might also ask you to share your screen and showcase them, walk them through the various implementations that you have done of oops concepts. Then uh, then I think that is fine. In automation, TestNG, Selenium thing, then you are able to answer that frames questions as well. So I think automation Selenium wise is good, but be prepared for Java questions. Okay, definitely you will get the questions on Java more and more, and they will also ask you like which are the different manners. Like you would have implemented one solution before them in an interview, then they will ask you which is the other manner that you can use over here, or which is the other any other alternative option that you can use over here. How will you optimize this code? How will you more optimize this code? So they will keep on asking you all those kind of questions. Okay. Okay, Bhavya, it was nice talking to you. Yeah, and all the best for your career. And whenever you are giving any interviews, so please share interview questions with us at rdautomationlearning@gmail.com. Okay.
Sure, sure.
Yeah, thank
Thank
you.
thank you so much.